Affairs grab our attention because they shake our ideas of love, loyalty, and trust. And it makes us ask ourselves some difficult questions. Would I know? Could I forgive? Can someone come back from something like this? Cheating means different things to different people. And this is really tricky because we all define it differently. Some people define it as physical intimacy. Others see emotional connection as betrayal. One person might think watching porn is cheating. Another might draw the line at a bucks night with a topless waitress. What counts as cheating depends on the people involved. And without a clear conversation about boundaries, I often see couples discover that their definitions don't match. If you're not sure where you or your partner stand, it's time to talk about it. Define what betrayal means to you. Be specific. Give examples. Talk about what's okay, what's not okay, and what your expectations are around certain behaviors. One of the questions that I sometimes get asked is, what should someone do at a bucks night or a hen's night? And my answer is this: if you know your partner would not be okay with something, you don't have to make a scene. You can leave. If you've got good, supportive, trusting friendships, they should want what's best for you in your relationship too. And it's time to put on your adult pants and let that person know, I don't think my partner would be okay with that, or I'm not comfortable doing this. This breaches that we've agreed in our relationship. This is not okay. I'll meet you later. That's what integrity looks like, being who you say you are, following through on your actions and on your word. Why are we so emotionally invested in other people's affairs? Sometimes I think it's about curiosity, and sometimes I think it's actually about fear. Sometimes I think we're projecting our own unspoken worries, concerns, and thinking, gosh, could I see this coming? It gives us a chance to explore uncomfortable questions from a distance. Could this happen to me? Would I even notice? Would I stay? I talk about this in my latest podcast episode and you can check it out. But this concept is called social referencing, when we figure out what's acceptable by watching how others behave and how people respond to them. And when someone famous is caught cheating, everybody, even me, yes, everybody has an opinion. But underneath it all, I think we're trying to test our own beliefs. As a therapist, I used to think cheating meant the relationship was over, and I saw it very much as black and white. Now I understand the nuance. In therapy, I see loneliness, heartbreak, people who feel emotionally invisible. And then I've seen people who never thought they would cheat, but found themselves longing for connection. And this is a quote that I like to share. It's from Esther Perel's book, The State of Affairs. When we seek the gaze of another, it is not always our partner we are turning away from, but the person we have ourselves become. Sometimes affairs are not about the other person at all. They're about who you miss being. And longing sits at the center of many affairs. Longing for excitement, longing for admiration, longing to be wanted. If those needs aren't named and met and spoken about, they might be looked for elsewhere. For the person who has been betrayed, the impact can be severe. It can feel like trauma, panic, obsessive thoughts, flashbacks, sleepless nights, loss of appetite, loss of trust, self-doubt, and it can mirror the symptoms of PTSD, and that's saying something. It can shake someone to their very core. Healing starts with regulation, not with forgiveness, not with deciding to stay or go. Take care of yourself first. Get help. Focus on your well-being. When it's couples that I work with and they're beginning to repair, I use a 3-part process from the Gottmans: atone, attune, attach. And this can take a while. Atonement means taking full responsibility, no excuses, honest answers, real remorse. When that feels complete, we can move into attunement. That's about understanding what's happening in the relationship. And what was happening before the affair? What was left unspoken, unsaid? What was avoided? Because the relationship as you know it is dead. A new version needs to be built, version 2.0, and that takes time. And then we move through to attachment, and that's rebuilding intimacy and emotional connection. It can be including new rituals of connection and creating some shared meaning again, maybe including physical intimacy and thinking about planning for the future. Some couples choose to stay together and some don't. Either path can actually lead to healing. What about relationships that start as affairs? I've seen this too. They often feel exciting and emotionally validating at first. You finally feel seen and desired and understood. These relationships usually begin in secrecy, and so because of that, it can create mistrust and an unstable foundation. You might skip the hard conversations, not set boundaries, not hold someone accountable. You don't learn conflict resolution and routines and all the stuff that build trust in a strong relationship. There might also be guilt, shame, worry. What if they cheated with me? Will they cheat on me? Research shows that less than 2% of couples that start as affairs make it long term. And some of those core issues begin to resurface. They could be perpetual problems or just differences in personality or lacking that deep foundation of trust. And those things, those unresolved issues can follow you from relationship to relationship. So if you're recovering from betrayal, rebuilding trust in yourself is just as important as trusting someone else. It's okay to feel confused. You might feel shamed or overwhelmed. You might even doubt your instincts. You might blame yourself. And therapy can be really helpful here. It can give you the space to make sense of this without judgment or without pressure. A place to explore your values, your boundaries, and what safety means for you now. Whether you stay or leave, healing is possible, but it takes time. If you want a little bit more, I talk about if you're working through something like this, just know you're not the only one. Affairs can shake us to our very core, and they can raise huge questions about love, trust, and who we want to be in relationships. Take your time. You don't need to have all the answers right away. What matters most is that you're getting the support you need to feel safe and clear. If you found this helpful, you might want to check out some of my other videos on rebuilding trust and spotting red flags in relationships. Or leave a comment with something you'd like me to cover next. Thanks for watching and take care of yourself.